Grand rising, greetings, beloved. What's going on? This is your brother Chief Wagwan. We're about to get into a quick build. Let me just make sure we got audio on Facebook right now. Give me 1 second. This is your brother Chief Wagwan. We got audio on Facebook, all right? I'm not going to be on here too long, probably 20 minutes to half an hour, and then I'm going to conclude this build. All right, hope you are having an amazing 24. And of course, this information, this video, whatever you want to call it, is strictly for knowledge purposes. I don't ask people to believe anything that I say. Don't believe anything that I say, because in the word believe is the word lie. So therefore, I don't want to tell you any lies. So don't believe anything that I say. All right, do your due diligence, and literally it's up to you. All right, so let me just, before I even go further, let me pull this up. Even if I've shown the etymology of that word before, I'm going to show it again. I'm going to show it again before. Let me just put it, let me set it up while I give you guys some time to get into the build, all right? And in the meantime, go ahead and type, what territory you're in, so I'll give you a shout out, during the video or after the video, okay? All right, cool. Boom. So, trans zone, what's going on? All right, so check it out. Like I said, I'm gonna keep this real short. Chicago in the building. Trans zone, we got Chicago in the building. The indigenous name for Chicago is Chicago. Okay. Just so you know. Here we go. First things first, want to acknowledge all the ancestors, each and every one of them, the righteous ones, the unrighteous ones, but I'm always glorifying the righteous ones. You dig? All right. So my brothers and sisters, this video pretty much is straight to the point. And a lot of us don't know who our enemy is, right? And I've said this before, but this video is literally specifically talking about that. I'm not going to divert from and go anywhere else. We are going to stick to the topic. Your biggest enemy. Who is your biggest enemy? Okay, the first thing I would like you to do is, if you actually in front of a mirror, okay, walk to the mirror and look in the mirror, and that's your biggest enemy. So what does that mean? For anyone who's watching, if I ask you, you're watching and you're listening right now, if I ask you to go into the mirror and look in the mirror and tell me what you see, and the question is, who is your biggest enemy? What would be your answer? Chosen one, what the deal is. Okay. Your biggest enemy is you. Your biggest enemy is you. Nobody outside of you is your enemy. Okay. There you go. You got to self-check. A lot of people are not doing self-check. They always go to a restaurant. They always go to a supermarket, and they always do a check out, but they never do a self-check. I'm going to repeat that. People go shopping and they always do check out. They will send you a video. Hey, Chief, check that out. They will post something. Go check out my post. But they never want to do a self-check. Okay? They will never do a self-check. They will go to a job. They will check in, but they will never do a self-check within. And that's where the problem lies. You are your biggest enemy. And I'm going to expound on that some more. You feel me? Because the United States know who we are. The United States know who we are. All right. I just came from getting insurance, right? Health insurance, Medicaid, whatever. And I put my race down as American Indian. Okay. I got an email, they received the information, it's been processed, and everything will be sent in 10 days. The point I'm making is, nobody's stopping you or preventing you from doing or being who you are. You are the ones that's preventing yourselves from being who you are. You see, there's a difference between saying that you're American Indian and actually living as an American Indian. There's a difference. Being an American Indian is more than just saying that's who I am. It's a birthright. You feel me? It's an inheritance. The only problem is the people who have inherited the benefits of being an American Indian, they are not the original American Indians. But how can you blame them? How can you blame them? There was a void that needed to be filled. And of course, the federal government did a placement or a replacement, if I may. But we know who we are. They gave us in 2015, 2016, now 2016 to 2017, Donald Trump gave us the American Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. I've been pushing. Yo, let's come together. Let's make sure that that becomes a law. Nobody want to come together and make it happen. Nobody. Because everybody want to be divided. Everybody want to be individualized. But yet still, there are many other people, even Europeans that are clearly Europeans. They are operating as so-called American Indians under the guise of Native Americans, and they're getting benefits. They're getting thousands and thousands of dollars every single month. Why do you think it's happening? Because they came together as a community. They came together united to make this thing happen. Like I said before, there's no reason that anyone who claims to be an American Indian, and they truly are an American Indian, when I go to your post on Facebook, there should be nothing else but talking about who we are, what we need to do, and coming together. That should be our number one priority. That should be the emergency. That we should be moving in urgency. It shouldn't be anything about distractions. Our people are just so distracted, and yet still they're struggling the most. They're the poorest. They're the brokest. They're the most sick physically. They're the most sick mentally. And we refuse to let go of the distractions. We refuse it. Nobody's putting a gun to your head to tell you to go post that nonsense. Nobody. But that's what you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? Our lands are being burned out. Our lands are being flooded. That's part of gentrification. But we're not seeing the problem because we are so prone to always screaming murder when we are the ones killing ourselves. Same thing with so-called Black Lives Matter. If a so-called white police officer, you feel me, would happen to shoot a so-called black man, everybody would scream murder. But you got gangs in the hoods killing each other, and I never see no Black Lives Matter step in. Because there's no self-accountability. There's no self-respect. There's no self-identity. There's no organized identity. I mean, literally, when you go, I have about 5,000 friends on Facebook. And when I go and look at posts, it is so, it could be so depressing. Because I'm a strong individual, I just kind of like go past it. Certain things, I just literally stop following people, or I even delete some people as friends. Not because they post, not because of one post, but because of a series of posts that literally has nothing to do with us uplifting ourselves. But you're calling yourself indigenous. You're calling yourself American Indian. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm making it. I don't get me wrong. I know exactly what it is, but still, it's a challenge. When you're seeing things so clearly, and you have the path, and you're seeing the path, and you know what needs to be done, and it's like everybody else want to keep playing the games. You feel me? Everybody else want to keep being distracted. My brothers and sisters, it's easy. I mean, I'm not saying it's an easy walk in the park, but what I'm saying is it's easy. The easiest thing to do is to control who you are, is to control your environment. That's the easiest thing to do, but yet still, it's the most difficult thing because you have not disciplined your disciples. And that's what your disciples are. Your disciples are your discipline. Your discipline is 12 faculties that's within your mind. And of course, religious texts call them disciples. And you are supposed to be the 13th son, the so-called Christ. But you cannot ascend into your Christ consciousness if you have not disciplined your disciples so that they could follow you. So therefore, you could be fishers of men. It's all allegory. So you are your biggest enemy. When the allegorical Jesus or Yeshua, whatever name, the man never existed. But when he was talking to the so-called serpent on that mountain that was tempting him, and he said, "Get thou behind me, Satan," what do you think he was talking? He was talking about his own mind. The lower self was creeping up. And why do you think it symbolizes the serpent? Because the serpent is low to the ground. So the lower self is always symbolic to the serpent. But the lower self is wise. The lower self is subtle, because it's that little voice that creeps in and tell you, do this when you know you're not supposed to. It's all allegory. But you have not done any self-check. You have not checked in. You would rather go to a job and check into that job, but never check into yourself and reorganize yourself. Do a mental paradigm shift. Renew your mind. But we're screaming murder. We're screaming, bro, oh, the system is against us. Now, the system is not against you. You are against yourself. The system is perfect. The system is doing what it's supposed to. The system is doing what it's supposed to. That's how it was built. It's a robot. It's a machine. And if a machine is programmed to do one thing, and you cannot change the machine, then probably you should change your attitude or your relationship to the machine and force the machine to alter itself. And that's how it's going to happen. That's how it's going to happen. But we got to stop playing the victim card. We got to stop playing that, man. I mean, it's only going to work for so long. You know, don't you think we should be in position to make sure that these fires are prevented? Don't you think so? We have the power to do that. It's because we are not at the table or over the table where people are making these decisions. Those things are happening. The floodings, the guns in our neighborhood, the drugs in our neighborhood, okay? The low vibrational music that's on the radio poisoning our children. Don't you think we could do something about that? Yes, we can, but we choose not to, because the same people that screaming American Indian, the same people that screaming their conscience, the same people that screaming their gods and goddesses and kings and queens, they're the ones promoting the nasty, filthy, dirty, stinking music that's degrading our people, teaching people to kill people. You are the ones that's pushing it. You are the ones that's promoting it. But you want to turn that, you turn around and you make everybody your enemy except yourself. It's called hypocrisy. You feel me? Typical example. If a so-called Caucasian uses the N-word, okay? If a so-called Caucasian uses the N-word, you get mad. But it's okay to use it amongst yourself because you call it a term of endearment. Don't even know what the word truly means. The N-word is a Christian. I know many of you haven't heard that before, but the N-word is a Christian. Didn't you know that? Let me show it to you real quick, because I like to show and prove what I'm talking about. Okay, let us go into the Strong's Concordance. Okay, let us go to the Strong Concordance, the Hebrew Strong Concordance. Let me see if I could find that for y'all. Let me show y'all something, because you see, people don't get the indoctrination and how deep it is. That's why I say you are your biggest enemy. Let me show you. Let's go into the Hebrew Concordance and let us go look at the word. Of course, you'll see it as Niger, but the pronunciation is Niger. Okay, let's go look at it real quick. And you'll see what it says. Okay, this is the Hebrew Concordance. Now let us listen to the pronunciation.
Strong's G 3526. Niger.
Okay, Niger. Niger. All right, let us look to see what it actually means. Of Latin origin. Look at it. Pay attention. Niger, black. Are we black? No. Why are we calling ourselves that? Black means dead in law. All right, is the surname of the prophet Simeon. All right, now look at exactly who a nigger is. Nigger of Latin origin, black nigger, a Christian. Okay? A Christian. Man, I keep telling y'all, man, when I talk to people and I teach people, I can show proof and facts of what I'm talking about. Okay? Many of y'all always screaming, "Oh, I'm not into religion," but you call yourself black. Don't you know that's what black means in terms of from a Hebrew perspective? It means nigger, and nigger means black, and black, and it means a Christian. But I say my people perish for the lack of knowledge, man. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. You think these pastors and preachers don't know what that is? Why do you think they want to keep you in black status? Because they want to keep you a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to get into religion, but all I'm going to say is you are your biggest enemy because you perish for the lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. You feel me? We can make the change that we want to. We have to do it. Nobody else but us. All right? But us. I did a post, and thanks for all those of you who registered for the class this evening, for me showing you how to operate as an American Indian tribal government. You see, you screaming you're American Indian, but you're not even operating as an American Indian. That's the sad part about it. And you know what's even sadder than that is me telling you I'm not charging you to teach you that. I'm doing it for free. I'm doing it for free. And you would think that I told you the class could only hold 100 people. And I'm not complaining because so far we have about 25 people who registered. But the point is, you would think that people would be waiting at the door. It would already be about 200 people. And I got to send emails and be like, "Oh, listen, man, we already got the first 100. We'll do another one next week or whenever." Why do I have to be begging you to operate as who you are? Why do you think these other people, you see, you have to get this. Everything is spiritual. You have the higher self and you have the lower self. Okay? American Indian is literally two categories in one. You did. You have the indigenous aspect of it, which is tied to the land, the private side, and you have the American Indian aspect of it, which is the government. What do you think these people are doing? They're operating as an American Indian tribal government as a business. As a business. As a business. But you are not even operating as an American Indian tribal government as a business, even if the U.S. told you they have an obligation to deal with you from a government to government basis. Even if you're operating in the status of Black or African American, I don't care what you call yourself, you are still a corporation because you are a 14th Amendment citizen of the United States Corporation. So either way, you're a corporation. The name on the birth certificate is not you. So why not handle your business and do what you're supposed to do and operate as an American Indian government? At least that would be a step up towards where we really need to go in terms of restoring our birthright. I mean, I'm not going to beg you to free yourself. I'm not going to beg you to show you, to tell you, well, hey, I'm not going to do that. However, it's really sad that those of us who know all we want to do, we are so prone to the distractions. We are so prone to the lower vibrational energies that you would rather continue posting that because you get a few comments and likes, opposed to posting things that's going to uplift us and take us where we need to go, because people, they're not gravitating to that because more negativity is being pushed. I don't care about the likes. I don't care if I get 2 likes from a post that I do. I'm not going to give up who I am to get comments on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok, or wherever the case is. No, I would rather get 2 comments. I would rather get 2 likes. I would rather reach 2 people and show them how to walk the path, opposed to reach 10,000 and keep them being Black and African American and being distracted. That's just me, though. You feel me? That's just me. So I don't see how you know you're an American Indian, but every time I look at your post, it has nothing to do about who we are. You're not promoting who we are. You're not talking about coming together. All you're posting is things that's totally irrelevant to your growth, irrelevant to your people's growth. But yet still you're broke, you're busted, you're sick in physical wealth, I see it all the time. Because y'all don't keep nothing private. You put it on Facebook. Oh, pray for me, I'm going through this. Pray for me, I'm going through that. If you praying to God yourself and it's not working, what make you think people praying to God for you is going to work? Y'all got to stop the nonsense, man. And I'm not going to apologize for being so blunt. I'm just tired of people being hypocrites. I'm going to ask you again. If you praying for yourself to this God that you think you know and you worship, and he ain't doing it for you, and he ain't changing your situation, what make you think all the people praying for you or praying on you is going to do it? I don't want nobody praying for me or praying on me. I denounce that. You feel me? Now, there's a difference if I ask people to send some positive affirmations for me. There's a difference, but I don't want nobody praying on me. I don't want nobody cursing me. My brothers and sisters, we are not supposed to be paying rent in our land. We are not supposed to be paying bills in our land. Everything should be free for us. In fact, once you're in the corporation, everything should be free for everybody. Because once you have a birth certificate, that was the contract right there. You have a social security number, that's the account right there. Everything is already paid for. But that's a whole different story. We're not going to get into that. That's why I say you are your biggest enemy. You feel me? You have a right to self-identify as who you are. And they have a right to not discriminate against us when we say this is who we are and we operating as who we are. That's our private side of who we are. That's us moving in our sovereign capacity. Now, if you want to dive into public with the name on the birth certificate, that's cool. It's a business. Treat it like a business because they treat you like a business because you are a business. That name on the birth certificate is a business. It's a corporation. You think it's you, but it's not. So you're taking the responsibility for everything that business does when it's not you. When it's not you, why do you think you have to register it? Why do you think you have to pay taxes? Because it's a business. It's a corporation. The sovereign man don't have to pay taxes because he's not a legal, fictitious entity. He's a living flesh, blood man, which is a boy of all corporations. But you have been diminished into a corporation and you think it's cool. So you are not the one doing bad. It's your corporation that's doing bad because you think you are the corporation. You're not getting sick. It's your corporation that's getting sick because they own the body. Because you think you are what's on the birth certificate. Now, that may go over some heads, but I'm not going to explain that no more. I'm not going to break it down no more. I've been teaching y'all for too long. You feel me? So at this point, I shouldn't be begging you to come to a free class that's going to show you how to operate as an American Indian government. Like, come on, man. Like, you want me to put a gun to your head and tell you, how to save yourself? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Aren't you tired of suffering? Aren't you tired of paying these people bills? Aren't you tired of going to work every single day and as soon as you get the check, in fact, before you get the check, it's already spent? You have more bills than money? Aren't you tired of that? Come on, man. Like, when are we going to say enough is enough? When? Like, seriously, like something is not clicking in your mind. And I think it's mental disease. It's probably because of the music you listen to, the food that you eat, or the people that you're around. It got to be one of those things. Because there's no way any group of people just like being at the bottom, like being discriminated against, walking around calling themselves black, you know what I'm saying, African American, and nobody else is facing the discrimination that we face, and we're not questioning anything. Something got to click and be like, hold up, something ain't right. Because even when real Africans come here, they don't get treated the way we get treated. You think they don't know who we are? They know who we are. Well, Chief, how do you know? Because I came from the islands. When I came into the US, they never classified me as being white. You feel me? When I went to the Social Security office, American Indian. I just came from getting healthcare. Guess what? American Indian. Nobody questioned that. Why is that? I guarantee you a real African wouldn't come here and do that, because a real African racial identity or classification is white. It's white. You feel me? It's white. So once again, you are your biggest enemy, man. Nobody is, no, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not putting the distractions to distract you. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they are gatekeepers. You know, if you want to make some moves, they will try to prevent you from making it. I'm not saying that. Of course, because they're doing their job. But my question is, why aren't you doing yours? Why aren't you doing yours? And all I could do is lead by example. I did a video. I show you, hey, listen, I went to ShopRite. I told them, you know, hey, I'm tax exempt. They called the manager, you know, put my information in the they tried to scan the card, so they couldn't scan it. So they went to the manager, came back. The manager told them what to do. Came back, boom. They did a scan. Boom, it came up, information, boom. Here you go, sir. We apologize. We didn't know. My brothers and sisters, nobody is going to give you what's yours. You feel me? Because we are living in a world that has no integrity. We are living in a world where there's moral has taken the back seat. Morals have taken the back seat. You feel me? So you have to step up and be proactive. I keep talking to you. I keep teaching you that you need to give up your citizenship of that nation called procrastination. Stop being a member of that nation. Stop being a member of that society called procrastination. You have to give it a be proactive. Be proactive. Or not, they will wake up. Eventually they will. You feel me? But the point is, you know, we as a people, you know what I'm saying? We have to start, you know, we have to start making some moves, because we are the ones, like I said, we are our biggest enemy. You feel me? We are our biggest enemy. It's one thing to know who you are. That is knowledge. But let me explain to you what's more powerful than the knowledge itself. What's more powerful than the knowledge itself is the application of the knowledge. And I've given that analogy before. If you know how to swim in your head, right? If you know how to swim in your head and you have never swam before in terms of doing it physically, all right? You have never jumped in the water and you have never done it. Okay, you have not done the physical activity, right? However, you see people swim, you go on YouTube, you see people swim, and in your head, there's a concept of swimming. So you have the knowledge of swimming. Just because you jump in the water or somebody push you in the water, you could still drown, because it does not mean you know how to apply the knowledge of swimming that's within your head. And that's the problem with a lot of so-called American Indians. They know they're the American Indians, but they're not applying it. They're not making it applicable. They're not stepping into the waters and challenging the so-called powers there be that's trying to keep us Black and African American. You feel me? You have to go against the grain. So even when I went to do the Medicaid or the whatever you want to call it thing, when they wanted to put in our republic, it wasn't coming up because we are not state or federally recognized, right? Because we have no contract with the government like that. You feel me? They were the gentleman was like, well, you know, chief, that's not coming up, whatever. And the first thing I told him, I said, listen, if I cannot do this as an American Indian, I don't want it. I don't want the healthcare. You see, I don't want you to put me in your system as Black or African American so I could get your healthcare. I'm not going to sell out. You dig? So he did what he had to do. You see what I'm saying? And found a way to put American Indian in there. And it was accepted. Sometimes you have, not sometimes, me personally, all the time, I stand on who I am. Yes, there are certain times you may want to make some sacrifices, some compromises to go further, because it's okay to take a step back sometimes to move 5 steps forward. There's nothing wrong with that. But at that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take a step back. I'm going to stand on that. And he respected that. As a matter of fact, when I was done, he said, listen, Chief, I appreciate what you're doing. If you have any events, all right, if you have any indigenous events and you would like the healthcare, I forgot the name of the healthcare company. If you want us to come and be a sponsor, because I like what you're doing, I'll talk to my boss, and they would love, I'm certainly sure they would not refuse. They would love to come and be a sponsor of what you're doing. He said they will not give you money because they don't like giving out their money. However, they would sponsor the event. You feel me? So my thing is, if I could be making all these moves on my own, can you imagine how much more effective it would be if it's 10, 20, 30, 50, 1,000, 1,000,000 of us? Who's going to stop that? When our people fought, our people went through so many different transitions, fighting to maintain who they are as American Indians. Okay, boom, they lost that war, became colored. They lost that war. You see, because colored was still identified and still tied to American Indian in a way. So that would take you know what I'm saying? Then they changed that to black. You feel me? Trying to pull us more and more away from our birthright. And our people fought to not being black. Then they lost that war. Then another identity was pushed, American Indian. Some of our people fought for that. I mean, not American Indian, African American. Some of our people fought for that. But they lost that. So now we are being called African American. But the point I'm making is, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because if we come together and stand up as who we are, and we fight for our rights as who we are, we will make indentation. Things will change. You see, you feel me? The people who fought during the civil rights, they are much older now. So a lot of them don't have the fight that they used to have. So we got the vigor, we got the youth, we got that. You see what I'm saying? We got that we got it. So why aren't we doing our new version of the American Indian rights? We are not fighting for civil rights. You feel me? Like I said before, civil rights had nothing to do with us. Civil rights was always about pale-skinned people. But we took up the fight because we wanted to be a part of that society. And Trend Zone, the truth is, we don't need a revolution. We don't need a revolution, lineage. We don't need a revolution. Because to revolve means to go back around. You feel me? And I've given that, again, another analogy. If you're going towards what you might call it, if you go into a revolving door, you're coming out a building, and they have a revolving door. If you're going through the revolving door, if you don't know when to make your exit, you'll end up right back into that building. And that's what our people are doing. You feel me? So we need an involution. You dig? We need an involution opposed to a revolution. We don't need to go back where we was at. We need to go within, make the change, and move forward. So we need a revelation. You dig? And bring that to the peoples. You dig? And that's how we're supposed to be moving forward. And everything about who we are is already codified in law. There are treaties. So we don't need to change the wheel. You see, we have to choose the path of less resistance when we are doing those things. Of course, it's going to be the narrow path, but we have to choose that. Why reinvent the wheel when stuff is already in place? All you're doing then is just creating social groups. You feel me? We ain't doing that. We're moving forward as who we are. We are not a social group. We are indigenous to this land. So let's stand as that. So for me, like I said, I'm going to start. I never started anyway. You feel me? But begging people to free themselves, I'm not going to do that, man. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. And I'm not telling you it's going to happen overnight. I've never gotten on here and tell people that us getting back our birthright is going to happen overnight. I have never said that, and I will never tell you that. All right? I'm about to conclude this video because, like I said, I want to be on here for about half an hour. It's already 34 minutes, so I don't want to go past that. So let me go ahead and share the etymology of another word real quick and show you why, we are going through what we are going through, because we choose to and we refuse to change everything. Okay, here we go. The etymology of the word suffer. The etymology of the word suffer. Here we are. Suffer. Okay. 13th century. Allow to occur or continue. Refrain from hindering. Fail to prevent or suppress. Also to be made to undergo, endure, be subjected to pain, death, punishment, grief, injury, humiliation. Isn't that what we are going through? And the etymology of the word suffer is because we are allowing it to. You feel me? And that's the simplest way I could put it to you. People are screaming they're suffering. Everybody is living the American dream except the original. In fact, there's only one American. There's only one American. Everybody else is a United States citizen. There's only one American. I'm not even going to say true American. There's only one, and that's us, the original people of the land. But however, everybody's living the American dream except the Americans. We're living a nightmare. Now, ain't that something? Because we are prone to suffering. We are prone to being victims. And that's what suffer means. Allow to continue to happen. Refrain from hindering. In other words, we are not standing up to do anything about it. You feel me? You're gonna put us to death. Okay, cool. We'll complain for a little while, then we'll let it go. We're gonna be subjects of your corporation. Okay, we're gonna complain for a little while. We'll let it go. You're gonna keep punishing us for any little thing, send our children to jail. Come get our children from our homes. All right, we'll complain. Come online. Oh, they did this, they did that, they did that, they did that, and then we'll let it go. You feel me? Because we refuse to stand up and make this thing happen. You feel me? So like I said, this evening, I'm doing a free class. The class is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I was cutting off the registration about 1 o'clock today. But because I did this build, I'm going to cut it off about 5 p.m. All right. In fact, I'm going to cut it off about 6 p.m. So you have until 6 p.m. to go ahead. Very simple instructions. My email is in the link below. All you have to do is send an email and just put tribal or put American Indian government or whatever you want to put. It's fine. But bottom line is just put your name and your phone number. Name and phone number. Hey, Chief. Greetings, Chief. I don't care what you say. The bottom line is just put tribal or American Indian government. And then that's what the class is about at 8:30 p.m. Showing you how to operate as an American Indian government. Why would you want to operate as yourself if you don't know what yourself is? In other words, why would you want to have a bank account with the name that's on the birth certificate when you think it's you and it's not you? That's not you. You just open up a business account, but you don't even know because they're making you think it's a personal account because you are taking it personal. Remember what they told you? It's business. Don't take it personal. So why do we have personal accounts? I know that went over some heads because I'm spitting bars right now. If the United States is a corporation and they created the birth certificate and they created the capital, the all caps entity, which is you think it's you, right? Why would you think that's you? And then they want you to go open up personal bank accounts. They want you to go open up personal bank accounts and use the name on the birth certificate, but that's not a person. That's not a legal, how would I put it? That's a legal person, which is a corporation. It is not a living man or woman. So therefore, it is not. It cannot be personal. It cannot be private. It is not private. It's a corporation. It's a business. So why are you calling it a personal account? Because they are tricking you with these words. Okay? There's no such thing as a personal account unless you are in your original indigenous identity and it's a private account. There's a private account for a living man or woman, which we're supposed to be establishing. You feel me? However, with the name on the birth certificate, It could never be personal because that name is a business. It's a business. Bars. You feel me? So I'm gonna cut off the registration for the free class this evening at 8:30 p.m. Okay. All you have to do, my email is in the link below. Hey, in the subject matter, tribal or American Indian government, with your name and number. Your name and number. You don't put, you don't put a name. I don't know who you are. If you only put a number. If you only put the name without a number, I'm not gonna respond. People have to learn to follow instructions. You feel me? With your name and number, and just put whether it's tribal or American Indian government, whatever the case is, and I will send you the information. You will join or WhatsApp with the with where the information is, and then boom, you'll come to the class and get the information. All you need is your computer. That's it. Your computer and the ability to download the PDF when you are done. All right, and that's it. And I'm done. I'm doing everything that I can for my people. All right, and I'm not saying this will take care of all your problems. I'm not saying that. But however, what I'm saying is it would bring you closer to operating as an American Indian government, because there is still more work to do. Once you set that up, you still have to set up, your documents so that you could open up the bank account operating as an American Indian government. You see the difference? So now as a collective, we get to now go call the BIA. Hey, I'm operating as American Indian government. This is my EIN number. I'm showing you what these native people are doing. I'm putting y'all onto game. They know they're not American Indians, but they're operating as American Indians. You feel me? Because you don't know it's a game that's being played. Because you have the private side and the public side. They are dealing only on the public side, because on the private side, they're not the Indians. But on the public side, they could play Indians, pretendians. You feel me? So I'm showing you how to do that within your own clan, within your own home. Too many people want to step outside of themselves and do all these different things with all these different groups and so-called nations without setting up themselves within their home. You got to secure your clan. So that's what I'm showing you, how to do that within your house. So now that you're operating within your house as an American Indian government, your children is part of that government. The state regulars, they cannot come take your children. You see how I'm showing you how to protect yourselves? That's what we are supposed to be doing. And that's what I'm showing you how to do. So I'll see y'all at like I said, at 8:30 p.m. I have the information in the link below, and we just got to continue to move forward, man. We just got to continue to move forward. The door is open. All right. Like I told y'all before, 2025 is the year of the 9. What does that mean? It means the year of completion, maturity, giving birth. All right. So we have to give birth in order to reclaim our birthright. I'm going to repeat that because that might go over some heads, bars. All right. You have to give birth in order to reclaim your birthright. If you cannot give birth, how can you reclaim your birthright if there was no birth? You feel me? So the point I'm making is our ancestors did what they had to do. Now it's our time to do what we have to do. So this is the year of the 9. Step up, step forward. The universe will open up and give us everything that we deserve. Not what you want, not what you need, but what you deserve. People are under the impression that they get what they need or what they want. No, they don't. You get what you deserve, be it good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. You get what you deserve. If something happened to you that's so-called bad, you deserve it. And I'm not going to apologize for giving y'all the hard truth. If something happened to you that's so-called good, then you deserve it. Because you get what you deserve. Period. Because it's all part of the experience. It is what it is. Good, bad, ugly, pretty. It doesn't matter. It is all an experience, and we get what we deserve. So all I'm asking you is to change who you are. Become a better man. Become a better woman. All right. Have integrity. Have morals. Be respectful. Fight for what matters. Because matter matters. You feel me? Fight for the energy, the vibration of uplifting our people. Be your brother's keeper. Be your sister's keeper. You see me, I stand on those principles. That's why I do these things. That's why I do these things. Because I'm a man of my word. I do what I say I'm going to do. And everything is not going to happen overnight. I have to keep preaching. I have to keep teaching that. It will take time to build. Because, you know, like I said, what we are going through didn't just happen a few hundred years ago. You think 1960 was the civil rights? No, it's an illusion. The civil rights happened hundreds and hundreds of years before 1960 because they tricked us with the Gregorian calendar. So it's like we think, you know, it's an assimilation of what happened before. It's just being played out in a movie. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. The reenactment is what took place, but it already happened. It already happened because the pale man was already fighting for their civil rights until we, the original indigenous people, said, okay, enough is enough. Let's grant it to them. Let's grant them their citizenship. Now they want to turn around and decide who a citizen is and who a citizen isn't. Man, listen, y'all don't know what's going on, man. Like I said, man, I know this. I breathe this, I eat this, I spit it like fire. You feel me? My ancestors have come to me in dreams and visions and show me things. So that's why I'm able to speak so boldly, because I stand on the foundation of what they showed me in dreams and visions. So once more, let us move forward as a collective. All right? I love y'all for real. And that's why I do what I do. So those of you that are late to this, don't forget you could still register for the free class this evening. Part 1 of the class will be tonight. All right, where I'm going to show you how to take your name, the name that's on the birth certificate. All right, it's not yours. Yes, it's the name that your mother gave you, but it was taken away from you. All right, when they took your soul and put it on a piece of paper and put it on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay? They took your soul. I want to show you how to regain your soul. You feel me? And how to operate as that entity that they created. That's what we are doing. Take that name and make it operate as an American Indian government. And then the next class, we'll do the social. So anytime those two, whether the name or the social get pulled up, it will come up as an American Indian government. One will come up as an American Indian government. The other one will come up as a trust. And that's when you're starting to make moves. You're separating yourself from that entity that was created. And you could still operate in private in your sovereign capacity as your indigenous self. The higher and the lower. But once again, what do I know, right? I love y'all. And we'll talk a little bit later. You feel me? All right. One love.